listening to Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we'll be discussing Season 4, Episode 3, Love and Rocket. My name is Michelle Burlingame. With me are Tommy Roulette.
How's it going?
And Pete Woodward.
That's me.
And with us today is Sarah Eyesnhart. Hello, Sarah.
Officially a three-peat.
Yes.
Welcome back, Sarah.
It's a 3-night stand.
Over several months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, it's not a thing. It's just something that happens every once in a while.
The next time we take your measurements for the jacket,
Okay.
5-timers.
As long as it's not green.
Yeah, we probably need to get, we have a lot of plans we haven't followed through on.
We don't do anything.
We had merch ideas and live show stuff, and it's, everybody's been real busy.
I understand that.
But everybody has time to watch a 22.5-minute episode of Futurama once almost every week.
Lucky you.
Yeah, it was tough to squeeze it in this week, but it all worked out.
I watched it twice today.
Really?
Yes.
Look at you with the
Wow.
free time. Were you like at work?
No, I watched it. I don't know what I was doing. I just watched it twice. Once in the morning and once after work when I actually took some notes.
I get so envious of people with self-directed time.
I have to, I make sure I sit down and I'm not doing anything when I'm watching the episode just because we're doing this. I tried to fold laundry while I was watching it, but, I couldn't pay attention enough to,
Your underwear is very complicated, Tom. There's a lot of straps and buckles involved
At least
from what
four.
I've seen.
Well,
folds.
trying to put a fitted sheet on the bed with 2 dogs and a kitten on and that wouldn't get off the bed was very difficult.
Oh, just complain some more about your
Yeah.
adorable pets.
Boo-hoo. You know what you do to get them off the bed? You just say, hey, whatever the animal's name is, get the fuck off the bed in a stern voice, and they'll do it.
One of them did.
Cats
the other
don't.
one just got up and moved to the edge of the bed and laid back down.
That's
And then
just-
he circled and went
Yeah.
around and just kept laying on different parts of the bed.
Fuck
just-
you, Dad.
Yeah, just being an asshole for that. I can show you a demonstration after this episode about how to get cats to move
Cat off a bed.
off of anything.
Oh.
This was an episode. Now you had requested this a while back, Sarah. So do you have a particular affinity for this one?
I like this one because it's cute and cheesy. It's real sappy.
But to start everything off with, we're back to the fucked up Jumbotron stuff. It looked like there was a Jack in the Box clown trying to poop, and then something else busted through a door and started yelling at it.
In a cartoon studio.
So it was
Same thing as last time.
like
or
the
time
weird
before
jazz
that?
band.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think it was what? Was it the last episode we did?
So was
Yeah, I
the
think
one
that was the
cartoon
last
trying
episode,
to poop
the,
for real?
animation studio one.
I could see animators trying to poop at each other
Yeah,
for
same thing.
pranks. Kind of a jackass thing.
I feel like bathroom humor is pretty standard material.
It looked like a poorly drawn Bosco.
It did. That was part of it.
Was it Felix the cat?
What
No.
was it?
It was so
I
fast, I
it
couldn't.
was smashed through the
like-
wall, and
like-
then I was like,
They weren't even they were like stick figures
yeah,
almost.
they were fully realized.
And then the one that was Bosco-esque had several nubs on its head, but not ears. So maybe they were
Hair?
no,
I don't know.
Antenna.
no, they're pointy.
Mm.
Fuck it. I don't. We've only got about 60 more episodes to go, and I'm gonna make a comment about this on every single one. But I still am. After this is our 57th real episode now.
Yes.
I still have yet to watch one of these and just be like, oh, that makes sense. I get it.
Well, the soon to be no more.
Really?
Yeah, they stopped doing it.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, don't scare me like that. So this is the 3rd episode of season 2, and the excellent graphics continue. It feels
right
like
at the
it's-
beginning with that nebula looking
Yeah,
background.
and a couple other ones throughout this episode, but it seems like they at the end of the last season and then the beginning of this one, it's absolutely stepped up a notch, which seems interesting considering it got spoiled, canceled at the end of this season for the first time. So you figure Fox would have been pulling money away, or maybe it was because it got too expensive.
No,
Sure,
no
that
one
was part
watched
of it.
because they kept moving it.
Oh, the old
No
time
one knew
slot
what time it was
Yeah.
on.
problem.
What Fox does with every good show that shouldn't be canceled.
Well, wasn't The Simpsons on like Tuesdays? Wait, like season 3 or 4?
No one
I
believes
think-
me, but I've totally
Yeah,
believe that it was.
It was. It was.
This isn't a Mandela syndrome thing. This is I remember it being like Sundays and Thursdays for sure. I just don't remember it being on any other night than
when it
that.
was on the same night as Martin was when it had been put back from Tuesdays up like back to Sunday nights, I think. It was definitely not always on Sundays, and people think of The Simpsons as like a Sunday night show.
Yeah. Well, I think for most of its run it was, wasn't it? Isn't it still?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was on a different
It
channel
was
at
on
one
it.
point.
Yeah, it bounced around and eventually now it's a monolith, basically.
It's like the Sunday night anchor of Fox.
What
No matter
else?
how bad it gets or not gets.
Yeah, I guess there's
I'm not debating that right now.
yeah, there's other podcasts that talk about that on. Michelle's already made her
I've already
case.
done it.
But what so it's hard looking at things with the prism of now, but that when Bender is arguing with the ship at the beginning and the ship is like super conservative,
Yes.
I thought that was funny, but is that supposed to be like a Fox News crack sort of thing? Or was it just like, God, when was the last time people had like an argument like that about art as opposed to like civil rights or healthcare or some shit? Like,
Well, what was it? that's been around for a while, right? It's
yeah.
I know pornography when I see it.
Well, that goes back, way back, but
Right,
like in
right.
the 80s and 90s especially,
Well, there was
like all the Robert
Piss Christ.
Mapplethorpe
That was a huge
and
thing.
is that Andre
Was that?
Segovia? No, Segovia.
You guys are just
I was
saying
gonna say-
names at the
Guitar
same
player.
time.
No, but close.
Yeah, is Andre something?
Serrano.
So that's it. The pepper.
When was that?
that?
That
When
might-
did that
was that around
bad?
that time?
When did that bad Metallica album come out? Because he did the cover of that
Oh, I
too.
don't remember it.
So it was before that.
No idea what they're talking about.
I did go to art school, but I don't know what year Piss Christ was done.
It sounds like somebody didn't get their money's worth. There wasn't some sort of like controversial performance art work or something where you just spent like an entire semester talking about Karen Finley.
I wrapped myself in aluminum foil and laid out on the oval at OSU for like 3.5 hours for a grade once.
Did you? Did you? Okay, so I'm trying not to make this too.
What was the
prurient, 'cause
statement or what was
yeah,
It was
the
a
piece?
performance art
I know,
class.
but what does that mean?
Like,
there has to be
well,
a meaning behind it.
Yeah, because they're all those girls that lay out in their bikinis on the oval. So you have to walk
Oh.
between girls laying on the grass
Yeah.
to get to from one class to another because the girls that live in the dorms just want to go out and tan even if it's like 60 degrees in early March. They're like, "Yay, it's warm." And they go out there and put on their bikinis and lay around. So it was just, I guess, me sort of making fun of them where
Oh,
I was
okay.
like a baked potato and I had like a plate and some forks and stuff.
Oh, and so I'm not trying to get
That
into
was
like
gonna be a leftover.
like a dirty aspect to this. I'm just more like these are actual questions about logistics. Did you wear anything under the foil or was it just like completely sheathed in foil?
I had clothes on under the foil, but
Okay.
I was totally covered in it. I had like a tank top and like shorts on.
And then everything went around it. So did you use like any sort of adhesive or glue or some kind of like cooking oil either underneath or on top of it?
I had cooking oil, but I didn't put it on my skin. I just
Okay.
like laid it out.
So how did you just mold
Did you
the
use-
This
foil?
was years
Did you
ago.
use good Reynolds wrap or did you use cheap?
Was it heavy
Is
duty?
this
don't
dollar
remember.
store?
This was like 2009
No, never used
or
dollar store
something,
foil.
2008. Yeah, I think it was cheap. I wouldn't have had the money for Reynolds wrap at that time.
So then, okay, so I'm going to assume from neck down covered, but then what did you do with your face and your hair?
I covered up from head to toe.
Like a mummy,
Yeah,
like an aluminum foil mummy.
Yeah.
Are there pictures of this?
somewhere. I don't know. That professor was a creep.
I can imagine. I went there too, and there was a lot of
We could have our loyal servants, listeners, scour the internet for it.
either that or they could do tribute pictures.
Or
Not
if they
that kind
remember
of
me.
tribute.
If they remember it
There's
happening.
probably some really weird niche fetish for foil wrap ladies.
Probably.
Probably.
I don't even think that's a probably. Like, you just stated as a given what certainly is. So yeah, okay. So that kind of stuff, like, I remember it because I'm old, and I think you're old enough to kind of remember some of the culture wars about stuff like that.
Right.
But like anymore, that whole like that kind of public discourse would be so much fun compared to the shit we actually have to argue and fight for now.
What was Bender arguing about with the ship?
They were just the
what
ship.
book did he have?
I mean, Bender's book was like Nudes in Art or something.
Venus de Venus.
Yeah, he was basically arguing with the ship where the ship was saying, I don't want my tax dollars to fund art that's just dirty filth. And Bender was saying, but you need to have like a national endowment for the arts. I'm sure this is some kind of topical thing based on what was happening. But
What year?
this is probably 2002,
Yeah.
3?
Yeah, beginning February.
So that's all. And I mean, that's still, that's what Shithead and his buddies are trying to do now is just gut the funding for the NEA and the NEH because that microscopic percentage of the national budget means something compared to billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of other dollars spent elsewhere.
I think we should burn all the art.
What about statues that are made of stone?
It's
They
already
won't
been
burn.
done.
Start over. Create new ones.
Just smash them down.
Every art. We aren't gonna just everything goes and then we build new stuff.
What about tattoos? That's art. You're gonna peel off your skin.
What about Futurama? Like, we can't finish if you burn them all.
What about people named Art or Arthur?
Arthur's can stay.
Okay. But what if they go by Art?
Then they're burned.
They're out.
They're gone.
Deported or immolated?
Well,
Burn them.
I mean, you can't burn all art.
So I was
There's
saying,
certain
like,
types of art that you couldn't burn.
If you were wrapped in aluminum foil, you might have gotten burnt yourself if you had applied the cooking oil.
Baked to a crisp.
Yeah, that's what grade did you get on that?
I don't remember.
Do you not remember, or was it embarrassingly bad?
No, it was good. I passed. I passed that class. Flying colors. I think the final, we actually, the girls and I, that the ones that were being creeped on by the professor, our final performance art for the class was we followed him around campus and yelled about how he was a pervert and a sexual He went
Wow.
on sabbatical after that.
And you still passed the class. That's fantastic. You went to art schools too, Sarah.
I did.
Did you ever do any hijinks like that?
No, I took my art career seriously.
I mean, we had like complaints into the school, and nothing was being done about this creep. So
No, I'm kidding. Yeah,
Yeah.
stand up for your I didn't never have any professors that were creeps. I had like one, but he like really liked me, like in a good way.
In a mentoring kind of way?
Yes. Yeah.
Did
He was like, you're like
so he wasn't a
Andy Goldsworthy's little baby niece. And I was
Oh,
like,
his-
that's a great compliment. I love you.
his stuff is so neat.
I know. I
It's
love it.
really cool, and he's a photographer who does like natural installations. Go look him up. It's very striking imagery, and we can start talking about shitty art like cartoons now, I guess. I was wondering, while Bender is arguing with the ship, is the ship supposed to be someone in particular? Like, is that?
I didn't.
I don't think so.
No, just a
like
general.
Just yeah.
stance, political bullshit.
Okay.
Right?
That's, I mean,
I think if that was just set up just to set up the thing that the ship can communicate with the crew,
despite not having
and
done it for the
Bender
last
and him
almost 60
Right.
episodes.
don't get along.
Okay. Oh, how the
Has
table
the
turns.
ship spoken before this though?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
Okay.
I don't even think it
That-
had like the Dave light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so I guess that's just a random plot device. Does it ever come back after this episode?
No.
Huh. Go figure.
Nope. Well, because at the end of this, that artificial intelligence in the ship.
Doesn't mean they couldn't get it replaced. We don't need to
Yeah.
go there now. I was just curious if it became a recurring
It
character
does
or
not.
something.
No, not at all.
Um,
And I'm glad it doesn't.
yeah. For Bender's head being an integral part of his body, it sure seems to come off pretty easily, like when the door closes on it and slices it off.
Your head would be sliced off too if a door closed on it like that.
Maybe. I mean, you would think they would have like the
Bender's head usually screws on and off. Like
Yeah.
he does that
Yeah.
a lot. So
Why
and
was
he,
it
I think
so
it
loose?
shows that he screws it back on afterwards. So
Yeah.
I don't know why it would have just popped off.
That's what they're going to call the cartoon logic that I get so worked up about. I probably. But it just, I mean,
I'm
I
gonna
get,
just start bleeping out your questions like that with cartoon logic.
yeah, that's fine. So this ends up being Valentine's Day is sort of the impetus for the plot of this, or at least that's what kicks things into gear. Not Sweetest Day, but Valentine's Day.
Sweetest Day
Sweetest
is
Day isn't celebrated by a
Sweetest Day is
portion
almost
of the country.
almost strictly a Cleveland holiday.
I know, because it just shows if you really wish a holiday into being and have a lot of corporate money behind you, you can do anything. But was this aired around that time, or was that just a coincidence?
no, the 10th of February.
Oh, okay. So, like most of the seasonal episodes, it has actually been sort of.
Yeah, the most stuff on TV, like they'll have certain episodes around the time of a holiday.
But we're going off of production order, and they've rejiggered all that stuff before.
Yeah, but some of them are in line.
Okay, so they had it
Yeah,
planned. So
there's just certain things that are out of place.
Is it strange that, I mean, number one, I guess it does seem strange that the professor actually bought them all something, because he usually seems too cheap for that.
Clothing, delicious clothing.
There's so much good Zoidberg in this. Just this is a peak Zoidberg episode. But is Romanticorp a recurring thing like Mom and Her Company, or is this a one-off?
I think it comes back, or something's mentioned about it, or something later at some point.
Because that,
In the movies,
Did the
pretty much
bears come
everything
back?
comes back somehow.
huh?
Yeah, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure like it's just like a small like throwback to the little bears.
Like the Lovey Bears or something.
Yeah.
The all that world building around Romanticorp was fun. With it being in Milwaukee, the most romantic place on earth.
Have you ever been to Milwaukee?
Was it Milwaukee or
I
Minneapolis?
have been to
Milwaukee, because it's the birthplace of beer goggles, which would help make it the
It's
most
an Indian
romantic
name.
place.
Why, yes, Pete, it is.
Milwaukee.
It's Algonquin for the land of the good or something like that.
Is it?
I don't know. That's what
That's-
Alice Cooper says.
It's from Wayne's
But
World.
it's kind of like AG being here in Cleveland, if you want to think about it like that. They produce so much Valentine's Day schlock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it schlocky? You liked this episode because it was romantic and fun, and now you're just like, this is all bullshit garbage.
Well,
Pick
yeah,
a
yeah.
side.
Both. I don't have to.
Why?
I can.
This is that relativism shit that they teach you in art school. Fuck that.
Well, and I also like the band.
Milwaukee?
No, Love and Rockets
Oh,
and the comic book.
okay, so not
So
like
there
the
were
Robbie
there
Robertson
are like
band.
multiple levels of interest.
I was wondering about that reference. Do you think they're referencing the band?
Yeah,
Or
There's several.
Well, the band is named after a comic book.
yeah, the Hernandez brothers do, right?
Right.
Like, okay.
So, I
So
don't
it's
know.
either or.
Maybe both. Maybe they like both of them.
That's
I can
possible.
imagine that they would like the comic book for sure.
They were pretty nerdy, though,
Right.
and it was like an
I'm.
adult
It's
graphic
probably the comic book
novel. Okay.
rather than the band, because they always look for like I don't know how to describe it. It's not necessarily punny titles, but it's just
It's
like
referential.
It's yeah. So they were like, oh, Love and Rocket, and then because it's about Bender and a rocket ship.
Okay,
being in
that
love.
makes sense. It could have been about anyone and a rocket ship. It could have been about love inside a rocket ship. And it is, but I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm just curious. It's that insatiable curiosity I have that drives everybody fucking crazy.
Does anybody like the conversation hearts? Like to actually
No.
eat them?
They're disgusting.
Oh, I have a tie-in from art school. Here you go.
Yeah?
My friend Julie, for a 4D class, did a video, like a close-up video, where she
Hang on.
had a
Wait.
big pile of
Four-dimensional art?
Yes,
Yes.
it's a thing.
Apparently, news to me. So can explain in 140 characters?
It was a close-up video, and she was just leaning over this table, and there's a huge pile of conversation hearts, and she just stuffed them in her face and kept stuffing them in her face until she then vomited them all out.
What makes it four-dimensional? The smell?
Well, no, that was
She's still single.
I don't know. She had a real thick. I think she was from Alabama,
I'm not
and it was
actually
like
serious.
early 2000s. So she had like one of those like. She was super cute, but yeah. And then she barfed him up, and it was recorded, and then we watched it in class.
So it was four-dimensional because it was time-based?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
How long did it take?
I don't know. She was like really eating them. So I don't remember. Not that
Did
long.
any of them come
Maybe
out
like
whole
3 minutes.
again?
I don't
still
know. She
read them?
didn't do it in front of us.
Did any of the words bleed and turn into other words?
Yeah, no, they're gross.
I will eat them. I mean, I don't love them, but I will eat them.
What about the sweet tart versions?
Yeah, probably. Duh.
No.
Sweet tart
Those are
versions?
delicious.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I've ever had those.
They're real. They're a thing.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. I'm talking about the actual like chalky.
Well, the sweet tart
Conversation
ones are
hearts.
pretty chalky. I mean, or maybe they're like Smarties versions.
Yeah,
I
they have
don't
Smarties.
know.
They're like a step above.
I haven't had Valentine's candy in like 15 years, so.
Aww.
maybe somebody has an art project.
Oh no.
They go to Milwaukee to Romantic Corpse
Headquarters.
headquarters. Who is that couple supposed to be? Because clearly they're modeled on someone, and they seem to be very, very, very much in romantic love, like only a gay man and a straight woman can be. Did you get that vibe? That it was like
A reference?
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, like he was a beard or she was a beard, depending on how you look at it. But they're just like, oh, yes, this very performative romantic love after 37 years or however long they'd been together. But he had a full-on Harvey Fierstein vibe. And she was maybe like a Kathy Lee Gifford type. And, not saying it in a judging kind of way. I'm just wondering, like, is this referencing some other, like, Vermont teddy bear company or Pajamagram or something?
If it was, I feel like that's a really deep pull. Like, I don't know if people would have gotten that.
Maybe 20 years ago, though, or 16 or however long it's been.
I did put their names down, that their names were Sheldon and Gwen.
I think
but
I
I
wrote
don't-
that too. I
thought it was odd that they would actually name them right off the bat.
and then never reference it again.
Right.
And it was a division of general emotions,
Yes.
which I love the fact that because really, at base, corporations are just manipulating us psychologically all the time anyway.
What?
You know? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's like they put, just everything from the advertising and then putting chemicals in the food and subliminal messaging and everything.
Who does that?
Corporations.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the corporation.
All of them. I'm part owner of several. It's our reason for being.
Whoa.
Yeah. Shh. Don't tell anybody. But then the other thing about it is, for some reason, when they got to the office, it absolutely made me think of Veronica's Closet and the way the office looked on that show. Do any of you remember
Oh my goodness.
that? Do you know what I'm talking
I
about?
thought I deleted those files. Yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
What office?
Like Kirstie Alley's office.
No,
on
but
Veronica.
what office on the
office
show?
for Romantic
Do
Corp.
you
Like
remember
when
multiple offices?
they were waiting in
Which one?
the waiting room when they first got to Romantic Corp.
Oh, okay.
And it's sort of like the waiting room area looked like the waiting room
I see
area
what
of
you mean.
Veronica's
I
closet.
see what you mean, yes.
And I mean, I don't know why I had that kind of synaptic connection going on either. Like it's a deep pull of several things I don't give any fucks about, but clearly I've filed it away to go like, and then it like just the look of shock and recognition in your eyes, Sarah.
Like I said,
Yeah.
something I haven't probably thought about from the 2 times that I probably watched that show.
Maybe Kathy Najimy was the model for Gwen or something. I don't know. It was. I'm surprised that such a specific reference came to mind, but clearly it's
Been eating
It's
too
not
much of
just
that
me.
CBD candy or whatever you're saying was.
Shh. It's medicinal, Tom, depending on the state you're in.
I love the little bears. Seriously.
Well,
They're so
everyone does,
adorable.
apparently.
No, I love the part where the guy with the like space elephant gun is hunting the one
Hunting?
down.
They pick out the cuddly wuddliest.
And then they genetically
with
engineer them?
Bear
With
hospital.
In quotation.
hospital.
that part was really good. It's that whole thing. I mean, did you see where all the garbage was being converted into like romantic stuff like that? It all kind of, it's very critical of big.
I'm telling you
romance.
this: if you could go to Build-A-Bear and pick up a little bear, and then
kill it.
to stuff it, I would not go. I'd go more often.
I also liked
I wouldn't.
the when they were testing out the pickup lines. The first one was, "Is heaven missing an angel? Because you've got nice cans." And the other one was, "My 2 favorite things are commitment and changing myself."
And at which point
She
she goes nuts. Have
Good.
I don't. No one ever says pickup lines to me. I don't know about you, Tom. You might have some that have been said to you when you were working as a Foxy bartender. But are there any egregiously bad ones that either of you have been? Like,
I don't. No. I mean, I hope not. No, when the pickup lines that are said to me are like very creepy and make me feel uncomfortable. Lines.
I think that's what I'm getting at. Though.
Yeah.
Like what?
They all
Like-
do. Don't they all make us feel uncomfortable?
Not necessarily. Some of them are nice.
Maybe.
Like, nice shoes, let's fuck. Or
That was cool in high school.
Nice pants. They'd look great on my floor.
let's
Or-
pretend I'm Jesus and you can nail me or something like that. I don't know.
No.
You weren't paying attention, I guess. Do you have any like particularly egregious ones that you've encountered in the wild?
No. I
That's
don't think I've ever
one
gotten
that
a
I've-
pickup line.
I don't think I have really either, but one thing that guys do is they ask what your name is, and then they go, "Oh, really? That's my mom's name." And that's
What?
like
That
that's
is
like
the
a thing.
worst.
Ew.
That's like people have said that to me. I don't know if I just have like
Ew.
Do you ever give them fake names?
sometimes I don't know. Depends. Depends on how much effort I feel like putting into the conversation.
Have you ever turned the tables and asked a guy what his mom's name is first? And be
No.
like, that's my name.
Hey, what's your mom's
Why would
name?
I ever invite conversation from someone I don't know?
Well, I mean, maybe you're at a nice establishment where a fine, handsome young bartender like Tom is working. You're like, I'd like to get to know him better. And as you order your drink, you're like, hey, what's your mom's name? And then he'd be like, Lurleen. And he'd go, that's my name. I mean, you'd have to come clean about it eventually, probably. I don't understand
That
the
would be
psychology of how it would
weird.
work anyway.
That would be weird.
It would
though.
still
That doesn't
probably work though. There's just the fact that you're initiating conversation with a guy would probably give you carte blanche, regardless. But I get what you mean. Like I don't see how that would work, even if it was people are awful.
I've gotten notes on a receipt more so than anyone actually like saying anything to me.
Really,
Like, you are cute. Letter U, letter R.
like a conversation.
Like a conversation.
Exactly.
You spent some time behind a bar too, Sarah. Anything like that from you, or just straight up creeps?
No, most people kind of leave me alone, which is great for me.
Yeah.
I think I have like a little force field of like, don't fucking talk to me in a nice way.
It's an ongoing art project and social repulsion. Does that become 5D art or something? Or
And it's your whole life.
just let it go. The thing with that, so that pickup line of my 2 favorite things are commitment and hanging myself, they were
Changing myself? Did you said hanging myself?
Did it autocorrect?
Is that
to
Freudian? Is that a Freudian?
Wow, that it autocorrected to that. But they were the wire mannequins with like faces. Did you guys get that reference? Because it's a very specific.
I don't know.
I think there are a lot of very specific references in this episode.
Yeah,
too.
for sure. But there is this like totally unethical psychology experiment from like way the fuck back. I think it's some B.F. Skinner behavioral shit or something where they would take 2 monkeys and separate them from their mothers at birth. And they'd put them into a cage. One was like with a stuffed monkey doll that would have food and like warmth, like it was heated, and it would have like, bottles tucked inside it, so it had nipples and things, and it could feed and attach to it. And the other one was just like a wire a scarecrow doll, and the one that got put in with the wire scarecrow doll because it couldn't attach to it just got like completely fucked up. Like it ruined its psychology because it couldn't bond and basically became a monkey sociopath.
Yeah, and they kept their diapers on because it was like a something soft for them.
Yeah. I mean,
That's how you make monkey serial killers.
Right.
Yeah. And then they were both put in a room with a typewriter.
and they wrote this episode. But that's what I just thought that was so funny because not only was it like a reference to that, but even in spite of that, when it's just like, I'm a complete doormat. It was just like, and she got so excited and, Leela
Does that dummy
even.
have a brother?
Yeah.
Dummy have a brother.
It was good. But the other, I mean, God, this is so deep into the stuff. But the secret recipe for the conversation hearts.
Oh yeah,
It's so good.
bone
So,
meal and
earwig
earwig, honey. That's right.
Do earwigs make honey?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Do they?
I don't know. Or
I wouldn't eat it if they did.
What if it was inside the conversation hearts?
No, I would
Are
not.
earwigs even pollinators?
I don't know.
No,
I mean,
they can't be.
because they live in
They're
your ear.
earwigs. Yeah. If anything, they produce wax.
Do earwigs live in your ear or do they live on your ear?
I don't know.
Wait, well, I didn't think they lived on your body at
I don't
all.
think
I
so.
don't
No?
think they do.
No,
I
I
think
thought
they
they were
do.
the things that have those like really long pinchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's other.
I thought they'd live in your ear or on it. I mean, it would make more sense if they lived on your ear because then it would be like a wig.
I think there's a
for your
Star
ear.
Trek episode, something where there's earwigs or
There,
something, and then
one
you
of
like
the movies,
put
it's
them
like,
in your ear, and
Yeah,
and it
it's
will
a-
chew through the brain.
It's a brain control thing.
Yeah.
It would just like slither in. I think they did that to Spock on one or something, or maybe it was one of the movies. But it's thoroughly disgusting regardless. But I think that conversation hearts are really just compressed powdered sugar, which is still kind of gross. Like,
Is that
I mean-
really what they are?
I think so. What else would they be?
I don't think they like melt, but more like candy cigarettes. Do you know they like kind of like melt?
Yeah, those are basically the same thing in a different shape. I think if you take like confectioner sugar and compress it and compress it and compress it and compress it, eventually it will form that mold. And then you can use food coloring or dye to write absurd or cute or erotic messages on them.
I'd rather just eat like a tablespoon of powdered sugar loose.
That sounds revolting too, though.
Here we
really.
go.
Delicious.
Brock's Conversation Hearts, which are those chalky
I
type.
thought you were saying rocks.
That's the same company that makes candy corn, which are also it's a pretty pretty controversial holiday-based candy, which people either love or hate. Which I feel like Conversation Hearts.
But here's the ingredients of Conversation Hearts: sugar, corn syrup, cornstarch,
Yes.
glycerin, gelatin, artificial flavor,
vegan.
red number 3, yellow number 5, yellow number 6, blue number 1, and then red number 40.
Ew.
Not a single real ingredient.
Isn't yellow number
in that.
5? That's what's in
Sugar
Mountain
is
Dew.
real, right?
Sugar. But that's
Sugar, corn syrup.
Cornstarch.
Sugar. Sugar times 2. And then, so it's just compressed sugar.
Yeah.
Just like
and some
candy corn is just...
Yeah, candy corn I think is also sugar, corn syrup, maybe vanilla.
And the devil's toe jam. It's oh god.
I don't like candy.
Are you on the wrong side of that?
Is there a wrong side?
Yeah. Yes, there is. Are you looking forward to candy corn season, Michelle?
Maybe.
Oh dear.
That should be your
I
next
don't like the
second
pumpkins,
shot.
though.
I think
Defending
it's
candy
already
corn.
being planned.
Yeah, George,
But George is he's
fishing.
Is that water
he's-
bottle
he's
full of
pro.
candy corn?
No, it's water.
It's water that's
It's
been soaking in
water.
candy corn. It's candy corn infused sparkling water.
We got it at Whole Foods for $12.
I'm getting nauseous just thinking about candy corn. So let's move on.
I love sweets and I love sugar, but candy corn is just ugh. Just don't put it in front of me because I will eat it.
So they said the Conversation Hearts were the original family recipe from the 1900s. So do you think Romantic Corp is Brock's of the future?
Could be. Could have gone, I mean, this is year 3000 something, so.
Interesting. And is that...
I think, it's probably like a conglomerate of,
what's part of General Emotions?
yeah, okay,
So is Brock's the only original manufacturer of candy corn and then everything else is a knockoff? Or do they just have, the lock on, say, the Midwestern market or something?
I don't think they're the originators.
They're just
Just the distributor.
Huh.
They do make all the old timey candy though.
Yeah.
Like the what are the caramel ones with the cream on the end? Caramel creams?
the circus
Mary
peanuts.
Jane.
Bullseyes or whatever.
Wait,
Cowtails.
Mary Jane?
Cowtails. Those are different. Those are like
What are
the
Mary
same
Janes?
ingredients but twisted up.
Root beer barrels.
Yeah, like that. Necco wafers. That's probably Necco.
Welcome to the podcast where we name old-timey candy.
Those dots on paper.
Last week we were talking about
You
fast
just eat
food
all
for
the
an
paper.
hour.
I know. And now, I mean, these are all valid side things, I think. But I guess in the end, they end up getting the contract.
You know what? Brock's
right?
was established in 1904.
And they haven't changed a day since.
Circus peanut.
Ew. Ew.
Lemon drops. This is fun.
You ever had a squirrel nut zipper?
No. Are they like Mary Jane's?
Yeah.
They are the number one seller of Conversation Hearts and candy corn.
What?
So they're
And Jellybird eggs.
What is that?
those are
No.
got to be like
What
Easter
is that?
eggs,
That's
like
old-timey
jelly
looking.
beans.
Oh, Eustace, let's
Sunday's
go get some
Neapolitan.
Jellybird.
Neapolitan coconut.
What?
They've been out of production since 2012.
Oh,
Thank
they're
God.
probably still good.
Yeah, if
The
you can,
ones from
you
2012.
can go to Dollar Tree and find some. I'm
Or
sure.
what's that giant candy store up on
BA
Sweeties.
BA Sweeties? Oh yeah, you could probably find all of this stuff up there.
Oh man.
That place is terrifying. For those of
been
you from outside of the greater Cleveland area, BA Sweetie is like a warehouse-sized, open to the public candy store.
Emporium.
Yeah, I don't need to go there.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I mean, it is aisles and aisles and aisles of sugary death, but they're big enough and novel enough that they have like airport advertisements at Hopkins where it's just like, we're 5 minutes away, just take a cab straight to BA Sweeties. And I got to know how much that has paid off for them. Like if there's people that get off at Terminal A at Cleveland Hopkins Airport and they're like, oh shit, we're going to the candy store. Because it's in like it's on like Ridge and Brook Park or something, or those are parallel. But you know, it's like some weird Parma neighborhood next to a Best Buy and like a miniature golf place and I think they might have indoor miniature golf at BA Sweeties.
I've never been there, but I work right by it and I pass it all of the time.
That's
And
self-control.
I always want to go in.
Go in.
No.
You can report back.
Or there's those like wax bottles that look like soda and they have goop in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like those are
Every sugar.
And just giant like containers of one flavor of Jelly Belly, and you can just take that one. So awesome.
I can't handle it.
Let's go right now. Let's break
Bye,
it.
Let me hit stop.
Podcast over.
But the fun part about them getting the contract with Manticorp, I guess, is that it made the professor do the government mandated updates to the ship that he'd been getting sued about. Was it just the personality? No, it was a lion cage.
There's a cage for the lion.
Yeah, they
Then
taped
the
up
lion was,
the
like,
dark
swiping.
matter reactor.
Which had never been there before. Like, I thought the dark matter reactor was down in the engine thing, and all of a sudden it's on the dashboard.
I just like the cage for the lion. Fry was like
They
right
do
up
make
against it. His face.
dark matter.
The lion was like swiping through the cage. He kept like backing up because he was scared, then immediately like smiling and getting all close to the cage again, like over and over as hilarious.
We did skip the part when they took the conversation hearts to Omicron Persei 8.
I thought that's
coming up.
That's coming up.
Oh, is it?
Because
Yeah.
they got the contract first, and then their first job was taking them to Omicron Persei.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
So since they have the billions of conversation hearts, Fry is trying to find the words to express how he feels about Leela to Leela because he doesn't have the words to express himself, and he thinks that he'll find them on a conversation heart.
Spoiler alert.
He does. But the professor upgrades the personality software, and it has what is it? 4 different personalities, and they just kind of zip through until they find the one, and then it starts flirting with Bender immediately.
Yeah, it's Sigourney Weaver.
I didn't realize that until the very end.
She sounds very different.
You know
At least
what?
Maybe I thought so.
I knew it was like because from before, and as I'm listening to it, I'm like, there's certain times when I'm like, okay, that does sound like Sigourney Weaver, and then there's certain times where it sounds like Joan Cusack to me for some reason.
Sigourney Weaver, did I say that right? She doesn't give off a persona of being very giggly and fun, but she sure is on this, at least until she gets sad.
It weirds me out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they intended it for it to be because it's supposed to be like a crazy. The personality is supposed to be like
But is she really a psycho as much as she's just hurt?
I don't know. She does some pretty crazy things.
We'll get there, I guess.
I just like how
She likes
Bender
the spin
is.
doctors.
There we
Bender's
go.
immediately into it. And then he asks her, my place or you?
Yeah.
Like,
It brings up a lot of existential sort of questions about what... Yeah. It's sort of like that movie that we've talked about before with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson's voice.
Oh, yeah.
Where he has the nice pants and the turtlenecks.
We haven't seen that movie.
I have. You have.
It also weirded me out when... the ship had the male voice, and he said that song was cute.
when did that happen? I didn't.
It's just a weird thing. Like right before he changed the voice of it, he's like, "What? I thought that song was cute."
Oh dear. I didn't get. Man, I don't think
When they played the Spin Doctor song,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
and he was like, "Who changed this to college rock?"
Oh yeah.
This isn't alt rock. This
Yeah.
is college rock.
Fry's very scared of space cows in this.
He did a space cow.
Is it a space cow?
Is that a normal thing? Like,
No, not at all. He had just this episode. I don't know if there's any space cows.
they would be buggalo, wouldn't they?
No, not necessarily. I thought
Those are space bison.
Mars.
Oh,
Mars.
okay.
Are they only on Mars? I think.
For
The
some reason,
buggalos.
when he said space cow, has everybody seen Twister?
yes.
Okay, like, you know,
No.
the cow like goes
Yeah,
like
he's caught up in the-
It flies.
Well, he's caught up in the
caught
twister.
up in a twister, but it's like goes right in front of the car.
Cow
So then I
Neo.
just thought of that, but like a spaceship.
Was the cow making onesies or twosies as it flew? Because I would think
It was making milk. It was very.
if you were a
Disturbing.
cow and you got picked up in a hurricane, I would think that both of those things would happen simultaneously. Seeing
I
as
think that would happen if I got picked up in a hurricane.
you might be right. I mean,
mean-
just like get the parasail out and then just let it go. Bang! Open the bay doors.
I mean, really,
Nobody's gonna see it. It'll be raining
It's
and like
fine.
yeah, it's
you lightning
clean.
and thunder.
It's like a fancy Japanese toilet. But then it wasn't a space cow. It's Bender downstairs, like fooling with the knobs on the ship in the engine room. And number one, I kind of like that, where he's just like he's being very gentle and whatever. But then Lee was like, "Planet Express ship, cover your shame." It's all like exposed. And that's like when Bender's looking at Bender porn, it's all like circuits and schematics and wide open machinery.
It really creeps me out that Bender is like dating the spaceship just because they fly inside of it. And there was like, the whole thing just is
Would it be like if you were living inside a big fat lady, Tom?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
and
talking
it was
about?
good. She was going, shoo.
I mean, that's the whole thing, though. It's sort of like, this is some next level stuff about romance and things, and it's kind of small minded of you. Like,
Bender needs a woman or whatever with a, what is it, 40-ton booty? Or-
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
400-ton booty.
if
But then he
you-
starts making it with a beam. After it. He goes like an I-beam, and then he's just like,
You could touch any part of the ship.
Right,
He'd
and
still
it's
be-
weirding me out.
but
so like, is stepping on her sexy time? Sexy time?
I don't know. Maybe she's into that.
maybe
I just like when they were on the roof of the Planet Express building and Bender was dancing with the ship. He was still like moving her around like he was doing a dance. But
it was
she's
super
a
sweet.
giant ship.
I mean, it
Yeah, it's-
really.
It was sweet until he walks back into the Planet Express building and he says, "Well, I'm sick of her."
Yeah, well, because it's Bender.
And here's because he's a robot and he does everything faster than humans can, include of getting tired of something.
Oh, Bender.
Did you think that they made the ship look more feminine?
I think a little bit. They might have
I know
exaggerated
they
it.
didn't change the colors or anything, but something. It's like, or was it?
It was
just
a little
a
bit more-
suggestion?
I think it was a little bit more curvy
Yeah,
looking than
the red
what,
line in the
yeah,
front,
like-
like the lips.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. I
And
was like, is it me or is it the show?
no, it was meant to make
See,
it
somebody
look
else was
like,
getting erotically excited by the Planet Express ship too. It looked exactly the same as it ever did.
I'm very
Sarah.
open-minded.
And not like Tom over here.
Well, here's a question I have too. Like after he gets sick of it and all this stuff like that, what happens if they would have went in there and changed it back to a male? Would it still have been in love with Bender and all this stuff, or does that change it changes its personality? So it would be then that could have solved the whole problem if they would have just changed it back to the male voice.
Yeah, it seems like something Mike Pence would know about.
What? I know, I get it, but why you got to bring him up?
Because he's awful and he's a heartbeat away from the presidency. It's it's a fear. No, I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. That sounds like a question I would ask, Tom. So
I know.
I'm
curious about it because it was meant to be a female for Bender or whatever, but it could easily be turned back to a male.
Well, and going off of your weirded outness, is that the term for
Sure.
for the romance between the Planet Express ship and Bender? Like Bender has a history of being very weirded out by interspecies dating.
They're both machines.
She's not a robot.
No, but they're
She's
machines.
She's a different.
Also, he ends up dating Amy too.
Later on, yeah. He gets over his whole
Yeah.
robosexuality or anti-robosexuality thing, but like,
Spoiler alert.
I think it's come up. There was another episode where he was real weirded out by it, and then last couple episodes ago, with Kif getting knocked up, he was all weird about Kif and Amy being.
We did the Lucy Liu.
Oh yeah.
that was
And then there's the Lucy
bot.
Liu one
Yeah.
too, where he was.
She's in this episode in his magical chest cavity.
I know. That pissed me off a lot.
I put that down in my notes.
It's like,
How did Lucy Liu get into Bender's chest cavity?
and like, did
they-
she know they were on a date?
No.
Well, yeah, see, they're together and she's inside of him.
Yeah. Oh God, that is. Oh.
And then
Layers.
he's inside of the
What
ship.
What if
Oh,
she's been
no.
inside while he's inside of the ship, and the ship is inside space,
And if
or inside Planet Express?
and
Yeah,
it,
what
as
if it's inside of a building.
as we've established, Bender's chest cavity.
It's like a
is
Russian
apparently-
doll.
Yeah, but the inside of him it contains multitudes. Like it's way bigger than his actual physical space. Almost magical in a way. So like, you could keep stuffing people into Bender. He's done that before with like his orphan kids.
Right.
So like,
Who knows what's inside of Bender while he's inside of this Planet Express ship?
yeah, it's like there's a whole thing going on that's negating your concept of being like, ooh, this is icky. Like this is clearly Bender's thing.
I guess it is. It still weirds me out.
That's fine. You've got small mind, Tom.
Ship on robot relationships.
I mean, Queen had that song about being in love with their car, right?
And there was that Addicted show on whatever TLC or whatever channel that was. Some dude was in love with his car.
Did he hump it?
Yeah. Or no, it was My Strange Addiction. That's what it was.
And
that's the one where there's like a woman that eats deodorant, and
Yeah.
wasn't there lady who ate mattresses? That show's
A dude that ate glass.
Is it
which
all
is
about people
faked.
eating stuff
It's
they
all
shouldn't
fake.
eat? Is it?
Turns
Is
out
it?
it's all fake. Yeah. One of the old bartenders at the Spitfire was on one of the episodes because one of her friends, like, he used to like eat glass as like a sideshow thing. So
Yeah.
it was like became like, I'm addicted to eating glass, and it was all scripted and staged.
well, so did the guy actually do it with his car or not?
I don't know. It was all blurred out.
I mean, how would that, like with Bender at least, it seems like there's interfaces and things.
I don't want to.
But like,
Google it.
but like how? I can't imagine a way to make that happen that wouldn't be incredibly painful in any sort of like.
Wait.
How a man can wove a car.
Yeah.
Wove?
Exactly. You want to talk about this concept that confuses and infuriates the Omicronians?
Surely you
Tom?
mean love.
No, it's the Earth W. Yeah, so Inda and Lur were watching Friends, and Lur says, "This ancient Earth television show is the most foolish. Why doesn't Ross, as the largest, just eat the other friends?"
And this is a Joey-centric episode,
It's-
or Joey
It's
heavy
a Joey
episode.
heavy episode anyway.
Yeah, that was. Did we? That's even ahead a little bit. That's after they go on the date to the zoo,
Where
When,
Lucy Liu shows up.
where
yeah.
Lucy Liu shows up, but the ship comes to their apartment at Robot Arms and like keeps tapping on Fry's window.
Yeah, I feel like in that scene, that's where I was like, the ship looks like super feminine.
Yeah.
It was like in there, like it was just like, oh,
She seemed very sad.
right.
She's hurt. She's heard she's being lied to. Bender was out with a couple of floozies.
Are you?
It's accountant.
Side
Did you not
floozies.
like that it looked feminine?
No, I was just confused because I couldn't. I mean, I knew it looked the same. It's not like they added the
But
red stripe,
different.
but like it just seemed like smaller or
Because when
curvier.
later when Bender goes actually inside, it looks feminine.
Right. Well, it's like
Yeah.
facial features,
Oh yeah. I'm
but
just trying to find that picture of.
There was a poster hanging in Fry's room. Do you guys know what that was? It was like an upside down U arrow inside another broken circle or something. Like it just seemed like it should mean something.
It was like
I
a
didn't
no
notice
U-turn
it.
sign. I noticed it, but I thought it was just like no U-turns.
But it was different. I don't know. I was just curious if that referred to anything. Like I had no idea what it was, but it was actually featured kind of prominently in the actual like visuals. The one thing that Central Park Zoo has in the year 3000.
More goats.
Oh my God. Goats are the best. There's somebody that does yoga classes with goats now around here. Have you been to any of those?
My friend wants to go so bad, but I'm just like, goats smell.
They do.
They're gross.
They do, but I mean, really, so
They're
do
cute, but
dogs
they're
and
so
cats.
filthy.
Have you ever seen a little pygmy goat?
Yes.
Have you ever petted one?
Yes. But then I washed my hands 500 times.
But if you had a little pygmy goat to live in your house, it wouldn't get filthy like that.
and you wouldn't have to mow your lawn.
No, I know. I've tried to get that to happen here, and there's like ordinances.
Or to
that-
find places for your tin cans.
Right?
inside the goats.
Yeah.
It'll eat them. It's perfect. And then it'll somehow poop them back out unharmed. The goat, not the cans. The cans will be goat poop at that point. But like,
They're not harmed. The
goat
goat
is not
itself
harmed.
is not harmed
Yeah.
from the tearing up of tin cans.
yeah.
But how do you get, there's no such things as tin cans anymore. No one uses tin to make cans.
You could get it in like Portland or something.
They absolutely will not eat aluminum. I know that from,
Are you
from a
sure?
fact, yes.
How?
Because I tried to feed a goat a pop can and he wouldn't eat it. No,
Maybe-
I didn't feed him.
Maybe
I know somebody that tried to feed.
his name was Tom.
No, I can't take credit for that because I think it's hilarious that he tried to feed him a pop can. And
He's just like, I don't want your
I explained
shitty
to him
Pepsi.
that it was aluminum, not tin.
goats don't actually eat tin, do they? I
It's in
don't think that's
cartoons.
real. I don't
If
think
one
a
thing
goat
I
would eat
learned
aluminum
from
or tin.
childhood is that they eat tin cans.
but not aluminum.
I think it was in that story about. There's a story about a goat eating tin cans.
It's a story about a guy eating tin cans named Michael Malloy. He was indestructible.
Sharks eat weird stuff too.
But sharks eat indiscriminately.
I
Sharks
don't
are
think
just.
they like want to eat a license plate.
I think if it's in the way, they don't give a fuck.
But they're also squishy inside too, so they're still eating metal.
Yeah, but they have all them teeth.
I don't think they chew license plates up.
I don't know. I mean, they just like
Its
it just
head's,
goes
as
down
big
the
as this
gullet.
table.
They found like whole people and chairs and things inside sharks.
Yeah.
In goats?
Well, here's somebody shitting all over everyone's fun. No, goats do not eat tin cans.
Right.
This is from Modern Farmer.
No one said they did, Pete.
You did. You said they wouldn't eat aluminum cans.
Right. They don't eat aluminum cans.
But this says they don't eat tin cans.
They like to collect tin cans. That's why I said that you wouldn't have to worry about
Like hobos?
doing anything with your. Yes, exactly.
They're the hobos.
Goats
of
are
the
like hobos.
the animal world.
They don't eat tin cans, but they will look inside a container and find something and get something out of it. In other words, goats are resourceful when it comes to finding something to eat. You'll see cattle skeletons on the ground in the desert, but goats are running around. And that's one thing we can all rest assured in.
Oh, the book was called Gregory the Terrible Eater. Should have known that why goats don't eat. He was a terrible eater.
That's why. Oh.
Anyway, all zoos should have more goats, smelly or not. I mean, most animals in zoos stink.
True.
Like the whole primate house, it's PU City in there. And then they also had Mountain Dew presenting extreme elk,
Oh, I missed that.
the howler mummies.
Howler mummies.
And so there's the Lucy Liu in his chest cavity. But that was the thing. Did Lucy Liu know that she was on a date with Bender while he was on a date with someone else, or was he lying to both the ship and Lucy at the same time?
Are
What
you
she
on
asked?
a date if you're just like sitting inside of somebody? I don't
What
know
did she
the answer
ask
to
when
that.
the door popped open?
She's like,
Who
who
are
was
you talking
that?
to?
Yeah.
Or who are you talking to?
Yeah, who are you talking to? And he's like, nobody, baby. You
And
know
just,
why.
I
Yeah.
love you, King.
So
See.
And those lines were recorded from the previous episode that Lucy Liu was on.
That's what I
They
figured.
didn't even get her again. They just used audio from when she was on a different episode.
Wouldn't you?
Yes.
but she probably still got paid for this
I'm sure
episode.
she did.
Do you think she even knew that it happened? Like, I bet if you...
I don't know. I bet you can just.
Do you think you could email Lucy Liu right now and be like, did you know you were on an episode of Futurama? No, not that one. And then she'd be like, what? And get super upset? Or would she be like, whatever? Or
Not like how many years since
She
this
was
came out.
probably super popular at this time because of Ally McBeal.
yeah.
Oh,
So-
when was Charlie's Angels? Is that later?
I feel like that
Probably
was a
around
few
this
years
time.
later.
Yeah.
Late
That was-
90s, early 2000s.
No, that was definitely out by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was busy.
This is probably Kill Bill era even.
That's more like 2006, 2007. I
Really?
think was Kill Bill 2 was 2000. Oh, maybe earlier. May have been closer to 2005. Yeah.
I don't like to think about when things were because it makes me feel old.
I don't either. In a second reference to the Second Shot podcast on this episode, I'm doing one of those with them this week. And when I went to go get the album that we're going to talk about, I'm like, oh shit, this came out in 1999.
What album?
I'll get into it on that. You can go listen to my episode of that show. It's just the point was that I'm old.
Oh.
And then George laughed at me.
Charlie's Angels came out in 2000.
Yeah.
Charlie Angels Full Throttle came out in 03.
Same year.
No, 2000 and 2003 are two different years.
No, I mean same year as this episode.
Oh,
2003.
No,
Oh, was
this is
this
two.
I thought this was 2003.
But
No,
Kill
two.
Bill Volume 1 came out
Ah.
in 2003. So she was very
She
busy
was
that
very
year.
busy.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember this.
She was kicking all kinds of ass.
Yeah.
So there was a line that the ship said to Leela, I think. She says, no one loves you because you're tiny and made of meat. And I know exactly how that feels.
Just like me.
Oh. And there was a moment when they addressed the Omicronians where Lur gets up to announce, I am Lur, and just, but then he reaches back to straighten the picture that fell down. Like, that was maybe one of the best jokes I've seen on this show ever because it was just so subtle and dumb where he's just like without addressing it, just sticks his arm back and like straightens the picture and then continues on. But after
That had to have been like something like that was like they have this scene written out and everything like that. Somebody had to throw out like, what if something in the
for
background, like, because that was hilarious.
Sure. Yeah, it was just so so understated. It was brilliant. But
They end up doing that more as Lur comes back, like little things where it's just like he's this big, powerful guy, but like
deflated by
Yeah.
mundane stuff. So the delivery of the candy hearts, this was just a peace offering from Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then the concept of love being on the one by confusing and infuriating them, like, triggers a new war with the Omicronians, or they're just beating the shit out of the Planet Express, like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, I thought it said they hated them because they're disgusting.
Well, that too.
Because nobody's said that yet. Nobody's been like, these are disgusting tasting.
Well, your friend that threw up a belly
No,
full of them.
In the show.
In
like,
the
no,
show,
I mean,
yeah.
like, Fry is just indiscriminately eating them on a mission.
I don't trust fries.
And nobody else is, right. So nobody else is saying it. So this is the first time anybody said, like,
These are gross.
why would you give these to anybody?
I
It's
think
like a
it's-
gesture of affection.
Yeah.
Because they taste like shit.
Right.
on top of it, they don't understand the word love, and then they're just shitty pieces of candy.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? They're Omicron Persei people. Omicronian. What? God damn it.
Omicronians.
Omicronian?
Omicronians. Yes. Oh, the word's right here.
Maybe they just have a really high standard since they're young are so delicious.
But they don't eat their young.
Are you sure?
No, they
No, I
don't
mean,
eat their young.
Are you positive?
Yes.
Oh, but
The young eats the adult. That's what the little guy said.
I'm getting very confused.
When
I don't know if
No,
Pete
the
remembers
humans
that
were eating the
other
babies.
episode. The
Huh?
poplars?
Yeah,
the poplars.
The babies
The
are the
humans
poplars.
were eating the poplars.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then they're like, Leela at one point says something about, I wish I was your mommy or whatever, and they're like, when we grow up, we eat our elderly or whatever.
I have no idea what's going on right now. I'm sorry. I'll take your word for it.
I think that's a future episode.
Is it?
I think so.
I hope so, because otherwise,
Oh,
they're
there's
just-
there's more. There's a lot more learn.
Oh.
good.
I thought we already. No? You guys didn't do that one already?
We did the poplar
The
one.
poplar
yeah,
one,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I think
there's-
Jason was
Yeah,
on
that's
that
what I was
one.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That damn onion cutter.
That onion cutter. So they're getting destroyed, and Bender decides it's a good time to break up with the ship.
What better time than that?
The shields are at maximum Yarnell, which is a incredibly
Yarnell?
The shield Fry yells that shields are at maximum Yarnell. So Shields and Yarnell were a mime team, and Shields is the guy that invented the robot, like the dance, the robot. And that's just like a super weird reference that like probably not many people got
See, I thought
upon
it was just like
initial.
a Star Trek like reference or something.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
I feel like somebody that was watching
I like the
their
scram
grandpa
jets.
was in the background and heard that it was like that was the one time he laughed at Futurama.
Yeah. That was
Oh.
such a weird joke. And I was like, what does that mean?
I like
But-
the scram jets.
You know who Yarnell was? She was the robot in Spaceballs that was voiced by Joan Rivers.
Whoa. Even more. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
And then here's this picture of them on the Muppets. I totally remember this because they looked like low rent Morks
Oh, yeah.
with the suspenders. You could do like very little to be famous on TV in the 70s. Really, just you had to give cocaine to people that made TV shows, and you could be on doing basically nothing.
Huh.
Just a fun fact. I didn't even catch that when it went through. Like how did that stick in your head? To
I just thought it was really weird, and I had to look up what Yarnell.
that's so deep. That's such a good Futurama joke. I wish I could have caught it because I don't know. I was really tired when I watched this, but that's fantastic.
Well, there was I looked it up. Okay, so there's all these obviously HAL references. It was 2001. And then I remember that they played that song at the end of 2001 that they were singing when they were like dating and stuff to go backwards, like that Daisy Bell song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But then I looked it up and just like, because I was like, oh yeah, okay, so they did play it in 2001. And then something else said that it was the first song that a computer ever sang in the 60s.
Was that like some kind of Wendy Carlos switched on Bach thing or something? Or
No,
just,
it was like the first computer in like the 1960s.
They
There's
did
a song.
like a voice synthesizer
Yes,
to make
it was
it
the
perform
first
that.
like voice synthesized computer
Really?
song, which is probably why it was in HAL. It
Yeah.
was in 2001.
I knew it was in
Space Odyssey.
2001, but I didn't know that about the.
Well, yeah, because I was like, click on this and learn more about this. I was like, oh.
And it was the first time that it didn't lead you to a virus.
I don't know.
The only thing I can think of whenever I hear that song isn't even
Computer related.
no, it's Revenge of the Nerds. Because during the Frat Olympics during Revenge of the Nerds, they have the tricycle race, and the Asian nerd, and not I forget his name, but like the Japanese kid who's in Lambda, they give him some sort of pill that counteracts alcohol metabolization.
Right.
And then he wins the race because every time you go around the lap, you had to chug a beer and then go. So he's sober as he goes through it. And when he wins, they play that song, but it's being sung in Japanese.
Oh.
Maybe by a Japanese computer.
Maybe.
But that's, like, for whatever reason, that's the first reference that comes to me because I'm damaged as a person.
Well, I was just thinking along the lines of 2001.
Yeah.
Of all the references.
Yeah, you went high. And I went about
But there's a
as
video
slow
on
as you could go.
YouTube where they have the
computer
recording.
singing it. That's awesome.
It's like this. It's like when the computers were like the size of a room.
Does it say the words or is it just making the music?
No, it says the words.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh God, that's terrifying.
it is. It's super creepy. It's like something you would hear somewhere
At the beginning of a
creepy.
weird podcast about a cartoon.
Maybe.
Maybe I'll find that.
Yeah, that's
You should. It's creepy. It's got a long lead in.
As the denouement of the battle when they're just kind of beat up and going home, there's a big pile of ice cream tubs in front of the ship red eye thing.
Mm-hmm.
Was the ship eating the ice cream or is that just Leela like eating it and throwing it at the ship?
I don't think the ship could eat ice
Robots
cream.
eat food.
No, they drink alcohol.
Right.
But she's not even really a robot, which is why Tom.
I think
was so
Leela
weird
ate
about
all
it. You
that
think
ice
Leela
cream.
ate all the ice cream.
Oh yeah, because she started thinking about Sean.
It's a lot of ice cream.
her mutual breakup with Sean.
Which is
totally mutual.
Is but she's in her pajamas. It's like a nice
It's like a girl's night.
Yeah.
Sleepover.
Right. Is that how that works?
Mm.
I would think
Depends.
there'd be more wine involved.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever eaten ice cream with my girlfriends. Ever.
Michelle?
I know one girl.
Is it me?
I know two girls.
Have you eaten ice cream with Sarah
Have
or
I?
this other woman?
At some point, yeah. But usually my girls' nights involve food and not dessert. It's mostly like one time my friend and I both ate a Red Baron pizza, like, and we split one of those giant bottles of like barefoot wine, like the jugs.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you each have a Red Baron pizza?
Yeah.
Who
awesome.
threw
Great.
up more?
I don't think either of us threw up.
That's
I didn't.
That might be rougher.
I don't know about her.
I'm gonna make a video of me just keep eating Red Baron pizzas until I throw it back up.
I'm just gonna get a jug of barefoot wine.
Oh, God.
And I think they call it that because it kind of tastes like feet. It's not that I won't drink it. It's just an observation.
We went to
hope
the
you get a
Circle K
sponsorship
to
out of
buy
this.
it.
Oh, so it was top shelf.
Red
And
Baron
we checked
pizza
the
and-
label to see which one said that it paired well with pizza.
Which one was it?
I don't remember. I think it was the
The Gasohol?
no, it was the barefoot, either Pinot Grigio or Chardonnay. I don't remember.
Oh my God, it's white.
Yeah.
That's the only way I would drink barefoot.
As if it was white.
It's white. I only
It's
like.
just
like-
'cause he's-
I
don't
only
like
will
red
only
wine much.
tolerate white wine.
I like white
Oh.
wine. I like sweet reds, but I'm not a red wine fan.
I like red wine and champagne. Because
Champagne's
white wine
great.
tastes like vomit.
A lot of times, yeah. Yeah. You get it real dry. Sometimes it's doable, but you need a nice gummy, jammy
Nice
red.
Riesling.
Jammy.
Jammy.
red.
Yeah. Those are the best. It means you're drinking it like an adult. Like you're serious and you have important thoughts to write down
Yeah, like
that you're going to
you-
forget later.
Like it's really important that you drink a bottle and a half of it.
2. Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
Fine.
And if you're at a work function, 6 or 8. But who's
Is it
counting?
free?
Yeah, am I paying or not? So the ship goes on this suicide mission, right? She's like, if I can't have you,
She wants to meld
yeah,
Bender and her together.
in the quasar, and more great graphics,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Space.
finishing strong. But Fry thinks they hit a space cow again. He just had space cows on the brain, and I guess so. At this point, it's basically where it turns back into 2001, right? I mean, the ship's just trying to kill them, and
I'm afraid I can't do that, Leela.
yeah, I don't know. That's a pretty tired plot device anymore. I think, right? Would have been about 30 years old at this point.
Yeah, but I guess this was also 17 years ago.
Yeah, but that movie came out in like 71 or something,
right.
didn't it?
But maybe 17 years ago wasn't over.
You already had Maximum Overdrive in the late 80s.
That wasn't a direct, like...
There's a bunch of machines trying to kill people.
I know, but that's different. This is like an actual, like, total spoof on 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah? Where was the monkey with the bone? I rest my case.
Look in the mirror, Pete. Look in the mirror.
Burn.
Oh, I know.
I do. The whole end of this, I think, is really. That's where it loses me.
It does lose some momentum.
Yep.
The
fire detected in the vicinity of Leela.
And the part with pretend to shower, same as every day.
Got it. That barely hurt Leela at all.
Yeah, I think the part where, as a ruse, Bender's like, I think melding minds with you would be extremely bearable. Like, just the non-committal nature. Like, I think it might even be, it's not just that the ship is trying to kill them, it's that the ship is like, oh, look, she's a hysterical woman.
Well, there's a lot
It's
of
just kind of like,
lonely woman tropes in this episode.
yeah.
Ice cream, pajamas, candles.
Romantic holidays.
Yeah.
It reminds me of
Even that monkey.
that crazy, like on the YouTube video, like the crazy girlfriend or whatever, or like the meme or whatever. I don't remember. Like,
the overattached girlfriend or whatever.
That's what this started reminding me of watching it again.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It just seems kind of tired, I guess. And that's part of it. Like, it's for jokes like Shields and Yarnell to like get dropped in this and then to just revert to something where it's like, okay, we got to wrap this up. And it's pretty predictable at that point.
Bender even cracks an age joke where once they...
Tubes.
You're older than you said you were.
Which is fun. I mean, as a guitar player, it's funny for me because I have to deal with that shit like every single day. And that shit's expensive as fuck now. Like, getting your tubes replaced is not an inexpensive undertaking for an obsolete technology. But they're fun.
It all kinds of sucks, this end. All kind of sucks until Leela's running out of oxygen and she's mad at Fry and won't listen to him, and he just unhooks his oxygen and gives it to her.
As a martyr.
Aww.
It's very romantic because she leaves him breathless. That wouldn't fit on a conversation heart. That's some total bullshit.
No, because it gets narrow as it goes down.
Yeah. Yeah, it would I mean, like...
It would have to be breathless.
Yeah.
You leave me.
I like the carbonated logic matrix. That was just sort of an interesting thing, but it's also one of those, like... How would that even work?
How did she win free admission to Six Flags on one of the carbonated logic matrix cans?
Well, you've never... Do they still do that?
They did that.
I mean,
they did, but I'm saying, if it was a carbonated logic matrix?
You know how you win things from Pop? You open it up and there's a code. Then you have to go online and put in all your information, and then you put in this code.
Not back then.
No, I know. Back then,
Now.
you drink it and then you see at the bottom.
Yeah, but it used to be it would just be printed on the bottom, or so it would be printed inside the can. It wouldn't be a code because there's no code.
That's what I mean.
Redeem.
Yeah.
You had no way of doing it.
Yeah, then you take that can to wherever it was.
Internet.
The Golden Goat. You take the can to the Golden Goat and cash it out for the 4 cents it was worth. Are there still Golden Goats?
What's a golden goat?
Are you serious?
Oh, I thought it was just another goat reference.
Yeah, me too.
No, it's a goat that eats cans. Actually, they were these compacting machines that they'd set up. Like, you go now and then in the church parking lot, there's a recycle bin. You throw all your paper in there and shit. Well, this would be something where you'd take your cans into the Golden Goat and you'd put your cans in, it would compact them. And then based on the weight of the cans that you put in, it would pay you money.
Weird.
It was like a reverse vending machine.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
But I remember glass bottles.
Mhm.
That makes me super old, I guess.
Not if you live in a state that cares about the environment.
Okay. Was that Ohio?
They did it in Ohio for a while, but it was only like Cotton Club and RC. But like, California and
You just threw it in the ocean with a note in it, right?
you can if you're Sting. But there's states that do like the deposit, and then you take them back and you get them. And actually, I just had a friend of mine who lives in Southern California was coming back across the border, and they checked his car for empty bottles because apparently, like, that's a thing now where it was like a Seinfeld episode gag where Newman and Kramer were going to take the mail truck.
Yeah.
That's illegal now. Like, you can't drive bottles across state lines.
It was illegal then.
To cash them in. Well, Kramer had a way of skating from that sort of stuff, but it's still. I think it wasn't necessarily illegal. It was just impractical, wasn't it? That's why they had the whole like
the mail truck. They had to
because there was an
borrow
extra
the
run
mail truck. Yeah,
but the Golden Goats were like it was like Coinstar, but with trash.
Cans.
Yeah. I should have put one of those.
There's actually a goat there eating
Inside.
the cans, and then
Inside. Yeah.
it would poop out your change.
Mm-hmm. It's like a robot goat. Sometimes if you put enough in, it would say, bah.
Those wouldn't smell.
Oh, they smelled a lot.
Oh, the robot goats?
Yeah, because they were full of stinky cans.
Oh.
Damn.
Damn.
So is the takeaway at the end of this that even though they theoretically turned everything off before they melded personalities, Bender got a little bit of her code? Or was he just joking?
I couldn't tell. I thought the same thing. I'm not sure.
Would you even know?
Full House moment?
Yeah. Where you just got a little bit.
Are you saying that like every relationship you're in leaves a little bit with you? Is that what you're trying to get at?
I've never taken anything that meaningful. I did see a John Stamos art show this weekend, but I did not.
Wait, is it his art?
No, it's art featuring him.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's better, I guess. Maybe.
I don't know which I would
really
prefer.
know. I don't know either. Not a big fan of celebrity art.
He makes things out of hair.
And yogurt.
Yeah.
Oikos, right? Is that his brand? Or is it Faye?
I don't eat yogurt, but
You
should. It's good for you.
I don't eat
dairy is
yogurt.
not good for me.
Yogurt's one of the 5 foods I hate most.
I don't really like it either. Just like the texture, the fruit on the bottom. His gag.
I've got some in the fridge. You could make an art project out of it.
No. I'm good.
But I think that at the end, we've stretched this into weird places too. The whole Zoidberg narration of the end when they create the love radiation.
Yeah, so they didn't want to clean up all those candy hearts in the ship. So Leela said that she had a lazier idea.
Which is unusual for her too.
Instead of having a better idea, she has a lazier idea. And they just dump it into space. And it creates love radiation. Why not?
Yeah. Just that whole thing. It was just beautiful.
Except it destroyed 2 gangster planets and a cowboy world.
But then the only planet it could get to safely without destroying everything was Earth. And it looked beautiful. It was more of these amazing graphics.
And it only could have been better if it had been Valentine's Day. Oh, wait, it was? Hooray.
Wait, what? It was? Hooray.
Yeah, I've been trying to decide after seeing this, because he said it a couple times now, whether I prefer Zoidberg saying robot or hooray. And I think hooray. Like robot is like my 3rd favorite Zoidberg word after hooray and sandwich.
Language.
And I imagine that list will probably get longer. Robot's the obvious one, but just when he's excited, he's so full of joy when he's joyful. Like when he has the delicious clothing earlier. He's he's just so happy. And it's wonderful. So I guess the general consensus is a pretty good episode, but maybe weak finish.
It's
except for the Zoidberg.
The Zoidberg and then Fry saving Leela is touching. But I just don't like the whole Bender Planet Express.
Yeah, we get it. You're
relationship.
small-minded, Tom. It's fine.
Not in my house.
What if you got home and Mike was like curled up in the living room with a boat? He's got a canoe. He's just hugging it with a big smile on his face. What would you do then when it was, you had to live with it in your house? Would you become accepting? Or would you be like, no, Mike, this is more than I can stand. Get out.
I'm trying to think of something that I could do that wouldn't come off as racist but funny. Like burn a paddle in the yard? I don't know. Anyways.
Oh dear. That's a lot to take in.
Right.
I kind of want to make it happen though, now. Well, thank you for coming on the show again, Sarah.
Thank you.
You're at this point, after a three-peat, the next apparent step up is either guest host or you're in contention for our first four-peat guest. So we'll have to figure that out. Yeah.
I
maybe
gotta catch up.
We'll never call you again.
That's okay.
Oh, that's
happened.
okay. Fine.
Let's just delete this now, Tom.
I thought, oh, okay. I was just trying to play it off, the
Well,
disappointment.
you can't seem too needy.
Right.
It looked very bad on the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of those needy women.
No, God, they're everywhere. The worst. Is there anything that you'd like people to find you doing on the internet or other places?
I didn't think so.
I think we're about a week out from this coming out. So if there's or 2 weeks, this will come out in 2 weeks. If there's any sorts of events or anything you're participating in or you'd like people to frequent.
I don't believe that there's anything that I'm doing because I'm very exciting.
Sometimes the air of mystery is exciting. So it's up to you. Just the regular old stuff where you put, didn't you take pictures of albums or something?
Oh, yeah, labels.
Okay. Can you explain what that is again? Because I completely forgot.
It's my secret Instagram page.
Not anymore.
Well,
But-
yeah, but it's just pictures of labels, designs.
Oh, what kind of labels? Just
Record
albums?
labels.
Okay. So like
So-
the little stickers in the middle?
Yeah, it just
Or-
depends on because there's like obvious ones like RCA and like whatever, but then there's like smaller companies that have more interesting logos.
Sure. That, because they care.
Yeah,
It's not just a big record album.
right.
And then do you have any other accounts? You've plugged stuff before, just if people wanted to find you. And if you don't want them to find you anymore, that's fine. That's an Instagram account, labels.
It's on Instagram, and it's a label _labels,
Okay.
and it's just pictures of labels.
Do you have a link
Very
to
exciting.
Do you have a link to videos of people throwing up conversation hearts or anything?
I don't, actually, I don't talk to that Julie anymore. So Julie, if you're listening, reach out.
Yeah. Pics or it didn't happen.
Apparently there's a video, so
I know. And it was done in like the 90s, so it would have been like
The 90s, I
analog.
was in college in the 2000s.
Really?
Yes.
God damn it, I'm old.
it was actually the movie The Ring. That video was the source of it.
That's what it is. Just somebody. It's conversation hearts like sticking to the lens.
It's like a sketch comedy you guys are writing right now.
Oh, we have so many good ideas that we don't do anything with ever.
Because we never remember them. For some reason, there was a way we could write them down or record them.
I wonder how that would work.
Yeah, without exerting any effort whatsoever after the fact.
Someday.
Yeah, someday.
The technology will meet your demands.
I hope so. I want to marry a ship someday.
Hey, don't invite Tom to your wedding.
I won't.
I won't go.
Well, and
Nor will I make your wedding cake.
Oh, that one would go to the Supreme Court, I'm sure. Anyway, we can be found at slurmcast.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter and Instagram at slurmcastpod. We can be emailed at slurmcastpod@gmail.com. You can call, text, or leave voicemails at 216-438-1077. Is that everything? We have a t-shirt shop on TeePublic, which is full of neat and fun Futurama designs. And if you buy shirts from that, then we'll get a little bit of money to help with the high production value you've come to expect. There's got to be something else. Am I forgetting something? Rate and review on iTunes. Probably that, too.
iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Tell us how much you used to like the show and how much you hate it now.
Yeah.
We'd love to respond in a reasonable way. Sometimes things just change.
Don't forget to neuter and spay your pets.
I already stopped the recording.